What's up, investors? It's the Russian dude, and yes, don't worry, don't be afraid. A bold Russian dude does not exist, he cannot hurt you, and yet, here we are. Okay, let's get straight to the point and talk about some ridiculous Russian propaganda. Today we have a good one, because we have one of Russian priests who came to the position of the Russian nuclear-carrying bombers, and he decided to make this place sacred by using an image of Saint Stalin. You heard it right. Russian priest, sacred Stalin, making the holy place of the Russian nuclear-carrying planes. It took me several times to say those words in a single sentence, especially knowing how much Stalin loved to go to the church and how religious this person was. But yet, here we are. This was a story, one of the main stories of the weekend in Russian media, and arguably the reaction of irregular Russian people was also pretty bamboozled. And yet, this is not the only thing we're gonna talk about in today's episode about military planes, because we have some extraordinary news with Ukrainian F-16s. They are preparing literally the final step before they can unleash the full power. We're gonna talk about this very soon, because now let's talk about what I was thinking should be another part of the ridiculous Russian propaganda. Specifically, Kadyrov, who is literally refuting his statements from one day to another, and this time, reportedly, some Ukrainian POWs, they were sent to Chechnya. They were held there until further negotiations, so whenever there was an exchange. And well, one of the first statements that came to us from the officials was obviously the president of Chechnya, Ramzan Kadyrov. He said all of this is fake news, there are no Ukrainians in Chechnya, I don't know why you're listening to them, come to Chechnya and check it for yourself. And literally several days later, Kadyrov himself said another statement. He said that those Ukrainian POWs who are right now in Chechnya, apparently they love it there so much. They don't even want to go back to Ukraine. They said just keep us here. Chechnya is the best country in the world. We absolutely love it here. I mean, yes, even though a couple of days ago Kadyrov said not a single Ukrainian is inside Chechnya, come and check it. Well, this is the level of trustworthiness of the Russian authorities that you guys can expect. Okay, now truly enough with this clownship. Let me give you a very brief update from southern and eastern Ukrainian front lines, then we're gonna talk about Ukrainian F-16s. First of all, in Oleshki, in Kherson region, we have this video where a Russian BM-21 Grad multiple launch rocket system is being split into atoms by Ukrainians. In Zaporozhye, yet another Ukrainian FPV drone made a huge firework out of Russian heavy flamethrower called Solntsepek. Last week, if you remember, there was a significant attack against Russian airfield Morozovsk in Rostov, and well, today we have visual confirmation in form of these satellite images that indeed this happened. I mean, Russians, they tried in the beginning to say that no, every single thing was repelled, nothing happened, this was just a spontaneous self-ignition. Well, once again, satellite images confirm otherwise. Specifically, several huge munition warehouses were destroyed, and potentially at least one Su-34 was severely damaged, maybe even more. As we go now to the actual Ukrainian eastern front lines, along Svatove front line, Russian self-propelled artillery system called Msta-S was destroyed. And then right here is the video from Serebryansky forest, which basically shows the work of Ukrainian infantry fighting vehicle BMP, and well, it is pushing the positions of Russians, and the results are exactly what you would expect from video like this. Full and uncensored version, as always, in addition to hundreds of other photos and videos, is on my Patreon, guys, the link is down below. According to Ukrainians, along Chasiv Yar, Russians resumed their offensive attempts, and this time they tried to advance from 4 different directions. So far, Ukrainians are holding. And then along Pokrovsky direction, it is now Ukrainians who are doing the counterattacks, and this time is the video where they're using an M1 Abrams US supply tank, which just shows the absolute superiority and dominance of this machine. Another crucial settlement, Toretsk, we talked about it a couple of times in the last several episodes. Right now, unfortunately, Russians are bringing some diversion groups, small ones, inside the city, and then they quickly collect the intelligence data and then they retreat back behind the front lines. And also speaking about Toretsk settlement, Ukrainians are using these robo-dogs to use them as basically land drones to run and also collect the intelligence data, this time for the Ukrainian side. Honestly, I think this is the very first time when I see this particular robot used by Ukrainians for military purposes, and this one, it does look extremely futuristic. In Makiyivka, already in Donetsk region, Ukrainian saboteurs were able to damage a very big, crucial part of a railway system which Russians were using, so we can expect a disruption in the logistics for the near future. But unfortunately, according to this video which shows the changes in territorial control, Russians were able to achieve minor advancements next to several settlements, such as Severny Zalizhny, Zhelany, Serhiyevka, Ivanovka, and near Lysychyny and Zhelany. And now finally, let's talk about Ukrainians about to unleash the full power of supplied F-16s, because at this point it is completely official, these planes are in Ukraine, several of them were already spotted flying around in the sky, and even Zelensky himself released this video when he gave a speech with those planes in the background. But there is much more that Ukrainians were expecting, because these planes came with additional extraordinary equipment, such as, for example, from this picture, as you can see, there was this early warning security systems called Thermopits Plus. And then also, and this one particularly is my favorite, is that allegedly Ukrainian pilots also received specific helmets which they are wearing inside those F-16s, called JHMCS. And basically what it allows to do, instead of manually pointing where they want to attack, where they want to shoot, this helmet literally tracks where a Ukrainian pilot is looking, and then you just literally need to press the button, and this is exactly where you'll be shooting. I would say this is a mind-blowing military technology. But specifically, what is so interesting about these F-16s is that obviously, first of all, the reaction of the Russian authorities and the Z propaganda. They try to downplay the importance of these fighter jets, saying that, well, Ukraine only received like 4 or 6 of them, it's not gonna change anything, these are the same jets as like Sus or MiG, so like, okay, so what? It's not gonna change anything, which is one of the earliest signs that they are worrying that in fact they can change the situation along the front lines. And obviously, for countless amount of times, the Russian authorities said that that's it. By supplying those F-16s, the West finally crossed the red line. So the response of Russia will be immediate and will be severe. Several days passed, nothing happened. I don't think anything will happen. Not the first time, not the last time. The Russian authorities are saying that this is the last time you're crossing the red line. Well, at this point, Ukrainians and the West, they simply don't care. And right now, it is estimated that Ukrainians are doing the very final preparations so that they will be able to use these F-16s along the front lines, because as of right now, the primary use of those planes is to become pretty much the air defense, to intercept Russian metallic cylinders, drones, maybe other fighter jets which come too close, helicopters, things like this. As of right now, they're not being used along the front lines, but this looks like is about to change. And right now, once again, this is exactly what we see is happening. Ukrainians are targeting air defense systems primarily. We even mentioned several of them being attacked in this video, in the previous videos. So pretty much, yes, this is the preparation for Ukrainians to use these planes. And since they are absolutely superior flying machines, in addition to this additional technology which the West provided to Ukraine, these systems, early warning systems, these helmets, I would say with almost high degree certainty that they will make a huge impact. Specifically because this is just the very first batch, which came mostly from Netherlands. We are waiting for more of them to come, so yes, maybe 4, 6, 10, they might not make a huge impact. Well, we'll see whenever the number of F-16s in Ukraine will reach several dozen. This is gonna be huge. And so, what is one of the responses by Putin, you think? Well, obviously not that many people want to go to the Z army. We spoke about this in previous episodes. The reward, the sign-up bonuses are huge, $20,000-$30,000, up to $39,000 in Moscow. But still, not that many people are willing to go. That is why, according to one of these most recent British intelligence reports, Putin is now literally forcing people to join the army. So let's talk about this in a little bit more details right now on my Patreon. This is an extra chapter, the best way to support my channel. So if you wish to continue watching, guys, the link to my Patreon is down below. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you did like this style of daily news updates, all the useful links are down below. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow.